New information from the health department tonight showing it's likely a norovirus outbreak at the Wild Chef Steakhouse in Holland may be much larger than first thought. The health department sent us a statement saying an online survey of over 400 people found that around 30% of people who ate at Wild Chef didn't get sick. That would mean about 70% of people did, or about 280. The health department has not returned our requests for further comment. Outbreaks like these have a lot of us asking, how do so many people get sick and what's to blame? The answer takes a lot of detective work. New at 6. 24-Hour News 8's Joe LaFurgey takes us through that process and explains why you may not always get an answer.
The bigger, more widespread signs of trouble usually start with a phone call to the front desk at the local health department.
If it's one person, it may not necessarily be the restaurant that made them sick, but suddenly we get another unrelated person calling, then we're like, okay, something is going on.
Shane Green is supervising sanitarian with the Kent County Health Department.
It's 2 or more people, typically unrelated, different household that experience either similar symptoms or consume similar meals or for roughly the same time or location.
And since it's not always the last meal that made you sick, they'll ask what you've had to eat over the last 3 days. And when a restaurant becomes the common thread, like Wild Chef in Ottawa County or the Beltline Bar in Kent County, they may be asked to shut down and clean up. A couple of factors come into play. If it's a one-day outbreak and no one else gets sick beyond that day, it's probably safe to eat there.
But if it's continuous and ongoing, then that's a concern. We have to put a stop to it.
Officials start looking into where the restaurant gets their food, whether employees follow health and hygiene rules, the holding temperature of food, the cooking temperature of food, and the cleanliness of food contact surfaces.
Sometimes the illness can be brought in by a patron.
Which leads to more interviews with employees. Norovirus is easily spread. Did a customer get sick anywhere in the restaurant?
Does that give you the answer, or does that give you a clue? I mean, do you stop looking at the other stuff at that point?
No, it just gives us a clue.
Investigators don't want to get sidetracked and miss something else that may lead to a cause. So how do they make the final call? Well, sometimes they have to go back to the people who got sick. A stool sample gives health investigators the pathogen involved. They try to match that pathogen within the restaurant. But even that may not provide the answers they're looking for.
When you're talking about food samples where you're trying to link the pathogen into the food, a lot of times that food is already gone.
And if you think you're hearing more of these cases in the last few weeks, well, you're right. Health officials say the early spring stomach virus season is contributing to the problem. In Grand Rapids, Joe LaFurgey, 24-Hour News 8.